Right. Ryan's a minute late, by the way. A minute late.
No.
He's,
Just do not disturb. Do not disturb me. You just stay there.
late as usual.
Oh, I had an issue. I did a Dillon.
Did you? Forgot you were doing a podcast?
No, I didn't forget I was doing a podcast. I labeled I labeled a file wrong, and then I went to start recording in. I labeled it wrong. Then I went, I'll just go change that because I forgot the U in out, labeling over and out, and then went to change it, and then went to start recording on Audition, and it went, I can't do this because the parent file doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So now I have over and out 35A.
Well, mine's called OverAndOut New. That's it. Just OverAndOut New with spaces.
Untitled.
Yeah.
Final.
It's the fifth Audition project I've used because I keep doing the same thing. Keep moving them, but then not remembering to link them at the time I move them. So then when I gotta open it, it's like doesn't know where anything is. It's fine. New document. Yeah. At one time we were just recording an untitled document 4. So cheers to that.
And there we go. That is two professionals working at the peak of their game.
It is funny how when it is your own stuff, you cock it up.
Yeah. No, I'm actually usually pretty good. But that is, it's just what it is. In other news, I woke up in a rage this morning.
Did you?
An absolute rage.
Why?
Have you ever had those dreams where something happens and it makes you so angry? You wake up angry.
Angry at a person? Or just angry? Pamela gets this a lot. Pamela wakes up very angry at me very often. I'm like, what's wrong?
Oh.
And then it'll take like 2 hours. Then she'll go, I had a dream about you. You annoyed me in the dream, and I'm still annoyed at you. And I'm like, not reasonable at all.
Yeah. No, this morning, because I knew what was going on, and Yasmin was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm so freaking angry at you right now." She was like, "What? What have I done? I only got up and like made a tea." And I said, "No." I said, "You pissed me off royally last night." She goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I was in a dream, and it was like." It was one of those weird ones where I was in my mum's house, but my grandmother was there, but it wasn't like my grandmother. It was almost like my mother was my grandmother. You know, It was like weird morphing of people between people. And anyway, I got given this letter from like ages and ages ago from someone, and I opened it up, and it said something about stocks and shares and bonds, and that had like a red and gold seal of like £7 million.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, okay, I got to read this.
Then,
yeah. And Yasmin was like, in the dream, was like, "Oh, what is it?" And I said, "I don't know. It's just this letter about bonds and shares and stuff." And she's like, "Well, tell me what it's about." And I'm like, can you just let me read it? Because it's like quite long. Yeah, but what's it about? I'm just trying to read it. Can you just let me? No, but can you tell me what it's about? And I'm like, okay. So I walked out and go into another room and like sit down and literally read the first 2 lines again. And then she comes in the room and goes, "So what's the 7 million all about?" I'm like, "I'm trying to read about the letter with the 7 million. I just need 5 minutes to read it and I'll let you know." "No, but I want to know what about it." And this went on for ages, like what would seem the whole length of the dream. And I never got to read the letter, what it's about.
I was
fuming.
Seriously, Yasmin, let the guy read his letter. So you don't know now if you won the
I don't know what that... I don't know if I won the bonds or what they were to do with, but if you're trying to translate a dream, it's like, well, Yasmin's stopping me from making money. And weirdly, I woke up this morning and my face smells of chocolate.
Really? Oh, well, hold on. Is that not because you put a face mask on? I
think it could be that, but it wasn't like a chocolate-smelling face mask.
So what do you mean weirdly? Like, how can you go from Yasmin's not letting me make money to also weirdly my face smells like chocolate? Like as if those things
because
are
I woke up.
Classic
I woke up
guy not making money smells of chocolate.
I woke up so angry, and then like I lay on the pillow for a bit, and I was like, "Why does the pillow smell of chocolate?" And then I got up thinking, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe maybe I wiped chocolate on my pillow or something." And I was walking around the house going, "I can still smell chocolate," and it must have been on my face. somehow. I don't know.
That's.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm good. I'm good, thanks. You're saying that smell. Have you ever grown a mustache? Because I grow the odd mustache every now. It's the only part of my facial hair that grows effectively. But there have been times, right? This is disgusting. By the way, there have been times where I've like eaten something like, something like cottage cheese on biscuits or blue cheese. It's always like a dairy product, which I don't eat a lot of, but it'll be like a dairy, like a blue cheese.
I can see where this is going, and if just for a second there, I just felt a little bit sick in my throat. So please go on.
You get a bit of it. If you've got a mustache, you'll know what this is like. And if you're a seasoned mustacher, you won't have this issue anymore. But I remember when I started growing my mustache, and then every now and then it'll happen for like a fraction of time. I'll eat something like blue cheese, or it'll be something like, it'll be something dairy, and it'll get stuck there in the mustache bit. You'll wipe it off your face with your hand, but you haven't washed it out. And then like 10 minutes later, you can still smell that like cheesiness.
This is so gross.
It's absolutely fucking disgusting. And I'm just like, sometimes I'll just be like, I'm just gonna go and dunk my face in it, and like I'll just go and get like soap and just cover my entire face, just wash it in a basin.
Yeah, just put your head in bleach.
I can't cope. I just can't cope with that.
That's pretty gross.
It is kind of gross.
That's pretty gross.
So
yeah, I'm not sure I'd like that.
I've
never really grown a moustache. It's just part of my stubbly beard thing that I have going on.
I can't because mine doesn't really connect. My side thing doesn't really connect. Doesn't really connect to the bottom bit. It's all a bit patchy.
Yeah.
But mustache grows really, really well.
Oh, maybe you should go for like one of those Salvador Dali, twiddly ones,
That goes out on the sides.
Yeah, why not?
Try that, but I used to have a really ridiculous one. They are really good fun to grow, but you look like an idiot with them. He says literally right now with a mustache. Go for it.
Yeah. But actually, no, talking about mustaches and growing them, have you seen online, there's a trend going around, because obviously we're all in lockdown, about people like shaving their heads and getting haircuts at home. What is your opinion on this? Because there is no way I'm cutting my hair in quarantine. Not for a challenge, and not just for function either, really.
No.
Because there's a lady I go and get my hair cut by. She's a Greek lady. She's amazing. She does proper hairdressing. She uses like a... no, she doesn't use scissors. She uses like a razor blade. And like goes...
Cut your hair.
She's incredible. She does it like the old school way. Her dad, she's from Greece, and her dad was a hairdresser barber there, and she used to work there. And so they're proper like old family... hairdresser type thing, and she's amazing. And I wouldn't want to get my hair cut with anyone else.
Yeah.
I just know the thought of having my hair cut, just going, oh yeah, I'll just do it, just get the razor out, or just get Yasmin to do it. It's just, it doesn't appeal to me. And I know, you being a guy with a strong set of hairs on your head, I just wanted to know. Would you let Pamela put a bowl on your head and cut your hair, or would you cut it at all, or are you just going to let it grow?
Absolutely not. No, I mean, there's no need to be cutting your own hair in quarantine unless like. I mean, I've seen people who had long hair who are like, I'm just going to shave it off for a laugh, and then there's a guy here who's literally, his name he's got the word beard in it, and he shaved his beard off, and it's like you're now JR. His name is, if you listen to it, JR the beard shaved his beard off. I was like, you're just JR now. Wow. You have to actually change your name on Instagram. You can't be JR the beard. You have to just be JR the face. But I've seen a bunch of people. I don't understand the sudden need for everyone to have a haircut. It's like, but isn't that just one of those things like we kind of do for a laugh, and we kind of do because we panic ourselves into this concept that we need it. It's like, I didn't need a haircut until someone told me I can't go to the hairdressers, and you're like, shit, I'll have to cut my own hair, or just wait 2 months and then get a haircut. Is this all right? It'll be fine.
Yeah. Because it's not like you're going out to see clients or anything, is it?
No. And it's not like your hair, I mean, unless your hair is, it doesn't really matter, because if your hair is really, really long, you should have got it cut a long time ago. You cutting an inch off it now is going to make no difference. But I like going to the hairdressers. So I always used to have like long hair. Like, I'm touching my nipples here right now, just for no reason.
Long hairy nipples.
I used to have long hairy nipples and used to love getting them trimmed. Now I used to have I've always had long scruffy hair, and at one point it was down past my shoulders. Think of the lead singer from The Used. Think of like that sort of length. It was a point where it was like that.
Really?
for the most part, it was like long, scruffy. What's his face from My Chemical Romance? What's his name? Jared Way. Jared Way. Like, you know when he had long, scruffy hair? It was like that kind of idea.
Yeah.
And
emo.
Well, yeah, very emo. But yeah,
We've all
but
been
never.
there.
Yeah, but never like cut into an emo look. It was just a mop of hair, and I liked having long hair. But I used to always go to like female hairdress or salons. What? Is that a sentence? Salons, and pay like when I was younger, pay a slightly higher price than you would at a barber. But I used to go because I just used to like it. Used to go lie there,
Yeah.
it'd wash your hair for you, give you a little bit of a head massage, you get a little bit of a haircut and a cup of tea.
I love it.
And I was just like, yep, cut. I was like, at that time, it was like 25 quid for what I was getting done, whereas the barber was like a fiver. But as I got shorter,
but
I started.
that's just very bowl on the head, isn't it, barber?
Well,
I mean, my
yes
granddad
and
used
no.
to take me, and it's like short back and sides, and you're
So
like, nah.
that's what I always thought, because there was a barber in Bangor that my dad used to go to, and it was exactly that, just and then you were done in like 5 minutes. But then, and I got a couple of friends who are barbers, and then my mate Marcus.
Isn't one of those a hugger?
Marcus is a hugger, yeah. Then Marcus, my fellow South African brother from another African mother, he started learning to be a barber. So I've been going to him, and then I went to his house one day for a haircut, dude. It was just like, it was next level, and also,
Creepy?
Not creepy at all. No. I was like weirdly satisfied and comfortable with and it was just like I just laughed at him, because it was like we took our relationship to a new level. If you go to a barber or a hairdresser or a dentist or a doctor, you generally only know them as that, and then you're totally fine with it. You know, it doesn't matter who they are, what gender they are. You go to the doctor, you go to the dentist, they stick your hand down your mouth, all this sort of stuff. And I mean, you get it, but you're okay with it. But it's not often you would go and they would be your friend as well. So like you and me are mates. How would you feel about me running my hands through your hair?
In what context?
Just
if we were just walking along, like let's say we were on a shoot,
yeah,
and you just came up to me and ran your fingers through my hair and went, "Oh, that's nice." I'd be like, I said I wasn't a hugger, and this has just gone into overload.
If we were in the pub and we just ordered our beers, waiting for the guy to pour it, and I just turned around and looked at you, like, you know, I was about like 4 inches from your face, just looked at you, took a step back, and then just ran both my fingers on both my hands through your hair, and then just like tugged on the bits behind your ears. How would you feel?
I don't think we'd get out of that pub alive.
There would just be an immediate brawl. So I go around to Marcus's house, and he's like, come in for the haircut. And it took about 13 hours, right? It was like, but like legit, he was like, kicked me back.
13 hours?
No, not really, obviously. It was a very long experience, but it was quite sensual, to be honest.
I find the head very sensual.
Yeah, me too. On the head of my head, the head on top of my neck.
Well, just know the head, like the touching of the head. It's a very, like, it's not like when you go to an osteopath and they're just like, you know, just putting their elbow on your back and just cracking everything.
Yeah.
You'd think that was kind of like sensual, but it's not. Like even a massage for me is not. Like on the back, it's not a sensual thing. But the head, on the other hand, maybe it's like that Tarantino thing about feet. I've never had a foot massage. You know?
Yeah, I've never had
I don't know.
Unless it's like Pamela massage my feet. But
yeah, well,
outside of that, she's actually pretty good at that.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm with you on the head massage bit. It's and I wasn't even in there I was just in there for a haircut. But like he started off by like he was using all I think he was just like he was stoked because he was like he's only a couple of years into it and he was just trying shit, and he said to me, this is when I had quite long hair at this point, and he was like, I only ever get to cut fades, because he was like in a bar, was just fade
what's
haircuts.
A fade?
You know, like low, like one at the bottom, 4 at the top, and you have to fade it in, and then you get a big puff at the top of it, something like that. So he's like, it's so cool to be able to actually scissor cut someone's hair that's long. So he was like, I've basically hardly ever done this. I was like, oh, cool, happy to be the guinea pig. So we sat there and he was all chopping away, but then he was like getting it, he was like running his fingers through it, working out the distance. There was a lot of like face on face almost contact, a lot of like, it was amazing. And then I was totally fine, and I was happy with the whole bit, except for the bit that I kept laughing, going like, And because he was taking it dead serious, because he's actually very good at it. And I was just giggling, being me. But then as we left, which I was totally fine with the whole, as we left and walked off down the stairs, because we were in his house, we are going to go get some lunch. This was like a date, to be honest. We were walking down the steps, and he walked down from behind me. And he was obviously checking out my head to be like, oh, I'm really happy with how I cut that. This bit isn't right. And then out of nowhere, I just felt his hands caress the back of my head. And he rubbed down the back of my neck. Right, and I was like, oof. And then just like tugged on a couple of hairs at the back of my neck. And
when you went, was that like
it was a good
a strangely sensual?
Yeah, it was like
like a
oh, Marcus.
Jeez,
God.
Moisturizer on your hands.
No, but then he like just tugged on the hairs in the back of my head. He just like, and what he was doing was just checking how he'd cut it and just checking the distance of it. But I just didn't expect it. I was walking down the stairs in his house. You know, I was like, all right, slugger. Punch him on the shoulder. Let's go get some lunch. And then the next thing is
some meat.
Yeah, next thing is he's rolling back in my head. I was like, oh, Mark, what's happening, son? Goodness me. We came here for a haircut.
This is the metrosexual age we live in now, isn't it?
And I just looked at him and he just laughed. I was like, didn't expect to be touched up here, fella. Thanks very much. And he was like, no worries. No. And then we went and got food. It's great though. Anyway, I've been back to him a few times. And always, just go in without a shirt on. Let's go, Marcus. But he cuts my hair now, and I love going to him because it's like legit. The dude's
How
a
much
good
does he
barber.
Cost? I see. That's an interesting. Would you call him a barber or a hairdresser?
I'd call
because I would say what he's doing is not barbarism.
No, but it is because he's not.
hairdressing.
It's not like. Well, yeah, he works in a barber shop and he cuts guys' hair and he does a lot of short things, but he does scissor cuts, but he does wet shaves and the blade cutting that you're talking about, and he's a pretty cool looking dude as well. So he's kind of, I'd say he's a barber.
Yeah,
I'd say he's a barber.
Interesting, because there's that barber and hairdresser. I wonder what the difference. We should ask him what the difference is, or we could Google it.
Yeah, it's hard without just stereotyping it, isn't it?
Yeah, because to me, like when my granddad used to take me to get my hair cut when I was younger, it's like we went to the village barbers, and it was like a whole bunch of Italian guys in there, literally, and it felt like they never did anything exceptional. You know, it was go in, short back and sides, that's it.
Deep bowl, shallow bowl.
Yeah. Oh, you want the haircut? Yeah, okay.
Just
and that was it.
With a blade on a piece of leather on their trousers. Shing, 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 shing.
Not even that.
That's a Turkish wet shave, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, have you seen? So that's what they. Yeah, that's it. And then when I got older, I started going to like Tony and Guy and these other places and Headmasters and stuff. And then you get that whole experience of like, oh, you get the head massage, they wash your hair, and then they put this really nice minty like conditioner in it. And it smells really nice, and then they give you a little head massage. And I was like, I've been wasting my time, wasting my life.
Totally.
Going to old Bobby Barbers.
Oh, yeah.
And just getting the short back and sides. Oh, I love the whole experience. The whole haircutting experience, especially like with the lady I have now. She's so nice, and we have like a great chat and everything. And so it's a nice experience, and I like paying for that experience.
Yeah, and this is the thing you do. You pay, this is what I used to like as well, because I went to a place in Bangor called Kevin Khan, and they were saying there was like, it was only ever me, one dirty hippie, and then loads of women in there getting their hair done. And it was exactly that. Did you pay for that little bit of a slightly better experience, or you wait? Because I'd always be like, I'll just wait. You know, it's the same. Like we have a dentist.
100%,
we have a dentist who's like the best dentist I've ever had. And when we first came out, we had a pretty good dentist in South Africa because we paid for like private medical aid. So you always had pretty good dentists. We came here and I just went to an NHS dentist. Jesus, when we first arrived here, and I was like, they had gone here. There's a couple extra people in today. We're a bit busy. Would you just get that guy from the road service outside to come in with his jackhammer and just drill this guy's face? Because he was like, and my whole fucking mouth was on. I was in agony for days. And then we looked about. We found a dentist over in Newton Arts, and she's incredible. And it's like, it's a pleasure going there, you know, because the whole. And I'm like, when they say, when I go to book an appointment, they go, oh, I'm afraid she's actually booked up for the next month. I'm like, I'll wait.
Don't care.
I will wait for her every single time because she's an amazing dentist.
Isn't that
shout out
like
to Beverly Graham?
Isn't that cool that that whole customer experience?
Yeah.
You know how like you'll pay for it.
Yeah.
And how there are certain people, like you're telling me now about your dentist, and there are going to be people in your area that are like, oh, I might go check her out now because you know,
Yeah.
I hate going to the dentist, but if that's a good experience, and Dylan said that,
Yeah.
you know, that, I mean, isn't that, it's so cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
That,
I don't think,
you know,
and I don't think people realize the power of that, like the importance of that. I think, you know, when you just go in, like, do you know when you just go into a shop and the person in the shop just gives a shit, just even a little bit of a shit, and they just go you, even if it's like there's a person in the spa below me, and I'll walk in sometimes, and it's just a dude who's super friendly. You just walk in and he's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" I'm like, "I'm good, thanks." He's like, "Having a good day?" I'm like, "Well, actually, I am having a good day." And he's like, "What are you getting?" And then he'll just like, bit of chit chat, but he's not wasting your time. He's got the chit chat and the serving you balance nailed. And I just think like when you, like, I'll go back to places that are good service over.
100%.
Like even if something goes wrong, but if the service is good and they correct it right, then I'll always be yeah,
100%.
love it.
Yeah, no, I do like that. Have you noticed in the States as well? Because you were there for like 3 weeks, weren't you?
Yeah.
In the old Americas.
Second time in the last couple of years. I was over 2 weeks in San Fran the year before that, I think, as well.
Yeah. So
basically a local is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So when we lived there, I always found I was really weirded out by how friendly people were in shops. Because almost to the point of like, what are you trying to sell me? Can you just go away, please? Because like normally when someone does that in England, you're like, you walk into a phone shop and it's like, oh yeah, I don't want the extra thing. I don't need that. I don't need. Just can I just need a SIM card? Can you just, if I need a case for my granddad's phone, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
But in the States, they're like really chatty and friendly, and they even if it's fake, they do fake interest really well.
Yeah.
You know, and I like that. Because even though you come and go, oh, hey, how's your day? And that poor boy or girl working in that shop might have had the shittest morning of their life, but you wouldn't know it.
No. I wonder what that is,
like,
the difference there, because South Africa was exactly the same. When we went back for our honeymoon, Pamela was like, oh my God, she was blown away. In the supermarkets, the people in the supermarket tills were just like the friendliest people, and they were super, super helpful. All the restaurants and I guess it's because they work on tips partially in restaurants, I guess, and cafes and stuff that you tip. But I think just generally service industries in those countries, I think the service industry here is just behind. Because people are, I find in the UK, it's like for a large part of this, and now this isn't for everything, I find like a lot of the newer places now are very, very different. Like there's a coffee shop in Belfast established, and they're like, their whole team are incredible. But part of their ethos is employing people that share that passion. So when you walk in, they know you, they know your name, they're so friendly, makes such a difference. And it makes me, I'll go through the whole town to Established every time, because I believe that they believe in what they're doing. But I find like a lot of the older school things, like there's this lack of, it's like a lack of need. And I guess maybe America is the same as South Africa in that here you have the benefit system. So the threat of not having a job isn't as scary here as it is in the States or in South Africa. Because in South Africa, if you don't have a job, you have no money. So you do your job, whatever it is, to the best of your ability. And that's why you go into the cinema and they're incredible. No, but you have like you have a natural health, like a national health, but it's effectively useless. Like we always pay private medical aid because you could never get seen or you wouldn't have used it. It's just one of those things where you were like, you just didn't.
You have to be super desperate.
Yeah, you really had to be desperate to do that. There was a lot of that. Whereas, so I think like...
So similar to the States then.
Yeah, very similar to the States, yeah. And I think that's what it is. Because people are like, they take every single job with pride. Where people here, I find, are very like... And I've been in a situation where, where I've worked in like... as you say, I used to work in the cinema and I started cleaning the cinema, like the screens and stuff. And there were people in there that just felt like it was their God-given right to have that job. And it didn't matter. So I was like, I can be rude or miserable. Doesn't really matter because no one's going to do anything.
Do you think, though, it's a case of you get out what you put in? Because, like, for example, when I used to work, I've worked in Blockbuster Video and a stationery shop as well. And I got very tired. I love working in the stationery shop because you could like sort everything out, and like I tried to give really good customer service because we had local schools that needed certain things. So I'd phone the school and like go, "What do you need?" and then adjust all my ordering to like cater for everyone coming in. And loads of people were really grateful about it.
Yeah.
But some people, they just walk in and they treat you like absolute shit. because
Yeah.
you're just a person working in a stationery shop.
Yeah.
And I do find that that's very hard to deal with. And I think some of the older places are burnt out over
Yeah.
that thing of... And I think this is why it's interesting with all the key workers being applauded at the moment, because there is that element of like, well, you're just a bin man, aren't you?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, yes, they are. But like, if they don't come and do their job,
Oh, yeah.
you've got shit in the front of your garden
Totally.
for the rest of time.
Totally.
You know? And I think it's nice that people like this are actually getting recognition, you know, in that way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that, you know, they work in... And there's like, you know, even when you go to the shops here now, like, you know, Sainsbury's or whatever down the road, you know, there are people that aren't staying at home and doing the safe thing. Because, yeah, I mean, obviously we all need money, and I think they're lucky to be able to still work, but you're still kind of... You're not really putting your life on the line, but you could have potentially are. Because,
Yeah.
you know... I don't know, it's weird. I just think that there's a... it's just an interesting.
No, it
thing
is. I
about,
went up to the
you know,
I went up to the shop this morning just to get fruit and veg, because I realized we had no veg, like fruit or veg in the house, and I was like, we need some
Yeah.
stuff that isn't potatoes and meat. So I went up
we
to the
need
shop.
non-carbs.
Yeah, I went up to the shop to get some fruit and veg, and there was and I went early this morning. It was like 8:30, and the security
Yeah.
guard was there, and it was funny because I think they obviously just deal with a lot of so yeah. From what I said, but then also in
Yeah.
defense of them all, you're right. They respond to the way they're being treated as well.
Exactly.
And you're right.
Yeah.
They do get taken for granted and treated like that a lot. So even when I'm always really friendly, and because I always get like a bit of a shocked look, and sometimes I get people being like surprised that I was asking them how their day was when I'm in the shop. And even today, like coming in, just saying hello to the security guard and being like, "You're right, fella," or whatever it was, a bit of small chat. And then on the way out, just saying to him, "Thanks very much, dude. Appreciate it." And he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're welcome." But like, clearly people just walk past and be like, "Yeah, fuck off, mate. Don't care."
I think everyone should be made to work either in a shop or like in a restaurant or a bar.
Yeah.
Like you should have to do that for at least 6 months.
Yeah.
To realize how crap that job is, and how people treat
how,
you. So
how
then
hard it is dealing with the general public like that.
Yeah, because it's like now, like having worked in and run a shop, I'm always so nice to people in shops because I know it sucks that so much when you just get that one person that comes in and goes, "I want this," and you're like, "Can you just please be nice?"
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
For a second, I'm just doing my best here. I just want to earn money while I'm not at university.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
kind of thing.
No, totally.
So,
dude. I
yeah.
agree with you on that because it teaches you that whole concept, like, and starting at that level or dealing with those sorts of problems, because everyone comes in with their one little problem and it's a tiny little problem, and they get annoyed that someone can't just solve it, like you and me gurning about people at the checkout the other day.
Yeah,
like that.
Exactly.
Fucking check me out quicker. And you're like, this woman's had a ton of people like you in gurning about this shit. Just shut up and be friendly.
But the thing is, it's not like their fault because they don't make the technology.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not angry at them.
Yeah.
I'm angry at the fact that, like, why can't there be a face recognition to go, "Oh, that guy's got grey hair and wrinkles. We don't need to check his for ID for beer."
Yeah.
You know,
No, you're
like
totally
I'd have a face recognised because they'd have that at the airport. You
Yeah.
know? But then I suppose it's cost of that, and or like the fact that you have to use a credit card, which you have to be 18 for.
Yeah.
You know, that's the another thing. It's like, why can't I'm going to pay with credit card? So surely I'm over 18. It's all about honesty, though, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know how to summarise all of this is to go back to what you said and go, just don't be a dick.
Yeah, isn't it? It is that simple, though. It is.
It is. It really
here's
is,
a prime example, right? And we'll not go on for too long about this. Don't worry, I'll fix the camera as well. But I went to McDonald's one day, right? Years ago, before we all got locked in our house. And I rolled up to the drive-thru, and the dude just goes. It was the bit where you roll up and they speak to you before you get to the window, right? So he goes, I just rolled up and he goes, "Yeah," just yeah, through the thing, and I was like, "Hello," and he goes, "What?" And I was like, just want to order some food," and he goes, "Yeah, what do you want?" So then I said I ordered whatever food it was and rolled, and then he just went, "All right," and it didn't even say come to the next window, but so then I rocked around to the next window, and I jest you not, right? He didn't even look at me.
Yeah.
He just opened the window and just stuck the card machine out at me. And I went,
"Wow.
How much is that?" And he went, and he goes like this, And then he looks at the screen, and then he goes, £12.35, whatever it was. And then,
no tip for you.
And then he just shoves. No, but I'm not great. Pamela gets really annoyed at me with this. So then I just went, having a bad day, fella. and he goes, what? I was like, you having a bad day? And he just goes, just £12.35 to me. And I went, here, it's all right. Don't worry about it. And he goes, what? And I was like, don't worry about it. It's fine. I don't want it. And he's like, what? What do you mean you don't want it? And I said to him, well, obviously it's too much to ask you to take an order and just not be a miserable git. And he's like, oh, I'm not being miserable. And I went, here, do us a favour. Just go get your manager. And I did. I made him go get the manager, right? And came out. And then I just explained the story to the manager. And he was like, I'm so sorry about this. And then I said to him, look, dude, it's not a problem. I just thought I'd deal with you because he doesn't look like he's in any state to deal with human beings today. All right? And then the guy was like, no worries. And then he gave me the whole meal for free. And I still had to wait. Still had to wait in Bay 1 for 10 minutes for it so they could spit on it.
But you got it free.
Yeah. So he gave you for free. But then I rolled up the next, like a week later or something, and made the order. And it was him. I could hear his voice, and he was feeling all right. And then I rolled up to the window, and he looked at me, and you could see him be like, and then he just this huge grin. Hi, how can I help you? And I said to him, you feeling better today? And he was like, yeah. I said to him, look, dude, I get that we all have shit days. I was like, but don't take it out on me. I'm just in here for a burger to keep the kids quiet. And he's like, oh, no, apologies for the other day. I said, it was fine. I get it. I was like, but just don't take it out on me. All right? Yeah. And then he was like, oh. And every single time I pulled up there for the last 5 years, that dude has been like the friendliest guy in the world to me. So I obviously just got him on it. But when people do that, I just call them out on it. Like if I have a waiter that comes over to me in a restaurant that can't be bothered, I'll just ask them to go get a different waiter. And I'll be like kind of like passive aggressive. I'll be like, here, look, don't worry about it. Do us a favor, go and get someone else. Though,
that like my worry with doing that is because that's what goes through my head. But what always holds me back from that is that I don't want a bit of extra mayonnaise in whatever I'm ordering.
Well, yes. As far as it goes with food, I have to be very careful when it's food. I'll normally,
especially if you're for your kids, you know.
Yes, I'll normally do it at the end after the food's come through or whatever. Then I'll just go up and have a chat to them I'm always like, I'm just going to have a quick word with this waiter on the way out. Pamela's like, just leave them alone. Leave them alone. And I'll just be like, here, dude, are you having a bad day today? And then they'll be like, why? I'd be like, wow, you were really miserable the whole way through that. Yeah. Or I'll just write it on the receipt or something. So, but yeah, it's anything. And there's been times before, there was a time before we went to this place in Belfast and Ribs and Bibs, they were called. Just went in, guess what we went in for? Ribs.
Ribs?
All right. Guess what they
With
didn't?
Or without bib?
They didn't have bibs. There were no bibs. I was like, oh, no bibs to eat. No, we've only got napkins. I was like, call yourself ribs and napkins.
Just called ribs.
Just be called ribs. And we ordered ribs and we ordered burgers and shit. Anyway, the ribs came out and the girl was like, whoa, what dip do you want with it? And I was like, oh, no dip, please. And she was like, okay. Brought the ribs out dry, no sauce on them. And I was like, excuse me. Then, by the way, before all this, she was the worst human being on earth. She was so miserable. And very, very rude the whole time. And I was at the end of my tether here. I'd opened a can of Coke and I drank some of the Coke. And she brought all the food over. Whatever Pamela got was just like dry as a bone. And then my thing, I was like, there's no sauce on this. And she goes, I asked you what dip you want. You said none. And I was like, dip is very different from sauce.
Yeah.
Ribs come with sauce. Fact. Dip is additional.
The bit on the side.
Yeah, it's a bit on the side. I dipped my chips in or something. I was, oh, how am I supposed to know that? And I was like, so I went, oh, do you know what, actually? And I just lifted the ribs up and gave them back to her. And I went, you can take those. It's okay. We don't want them. And I could see Pamela go, oh, for Christ's sake. And she was like, what do you mean you don't want them? And then I just went, we don't want them. You keep them. Because I don't want to inconvenience you anymore. And I just got up, picked up my stuff, walked up to the till, and I said to the manager, are you the manager? I'll pay for the can of Coke that I drank, but I'm not paying for any of the other food. And they were like, why? And I was like, because your waitress over there can't be bothered. And if she can't be bothered taking my order and dealing with me, I can't be bothered giving her any of my money. All the best. Give her £1.20. We left. Starving. But we left.
Brilliant.
So there you go.
And I think... yeah, that's it. Let's end it on that.
Yeah.
Because we're 35 minutes in. I'm on 5% battery.
Whoa! Okay.
This has been the day-to-day. Ryan and Dyllon talk customer service.
Episode 35. Thanks for watching. Catch you tomorrow.